Okay, welcome again. It's June 30th. Yes, it's a heavy vacation week for the Americas with Canada Day tomorrow, 158 years old for that country. And then for America, July 4th is Friday. So we're going to carry on, by the way, on still having our prayer tomorrow, of course, and July 4th, because we're such an international community. I didn't want to stop for July 4th either. All right. So thank you, Lord, for everyone here. Thank you for Eran with us on Mondays. And Lord, would you bless this time of prayer? And we thank you for all of these amazing people that join. So if you're new, Eran Glazer is the director of the National Leadership Center in Ariel, Israel. And Eran, want to hear everything that you have to say. I do have a question for you too, when you go into what you're sharing with us. Two things that I had was just to ask you about these talk about the end of the war in Gaza in 2 weeks. Is there anything really substantiated regarding that, or these four Arab nations, including Egypt and the UAE, who will supposedly help to administer Gaza if this goes through? Hamas leaders being exiled, hostages freed. Hostages freed would be great. Exile of Hamas would be great. But will something like this work? And then again, the Abraham Accords to expand and whatever. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that. And also your thoughts on the Netanyahu trial, because I know that Trump has been working very hard to get that trial that Netanyahu is under to get it tossed. So that plus everything else you have to say, Eran, including what's going on in the National Leadership Center and for your family. Thank you so much. Blessings. Over to you, Eran.
Thank you, Patricia. Great to see you and all of you. We are 633 days still in war. It's we finished the war with Iran, but we are still in war, and it's hard war. Just in the month of June, we lost 20 soldiers
Oh.
that was killed in Gaza. 2 days ago, it was one of them,
Mhm.
beautiful, handsome, young
Yeah.
soldiers that die. Um, a week before, we lost a group of soldiers, and the war is still going on. Um, I hope, Patricia, that the talks about ending the war, they are right. Uh,
Mhm.
we wants to believe that, we are praying for that. But I think that before it's going to be quiet, it's going to be more noise or more. It's not finishing. We know that the things happening now in Gaza, and I unfortunately I think that before it's going to be quiet and peace talks and ceasefires, it's going to be something big that is coming to us. I think that I'm wrong, but I hope that I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
in the next days it's going to be a critical days in Israel, and after that, I hope that President Trump will push Benjamin Netanyahu to end that because everybody is tired
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
from this war. And about his trial, I have to tell you that. Without getting to the issue deep because it's something it's huge, but I'm not sure that with all due respect to President Trump, is his role to he can say everything, of course, but we have a good and solid system here, a legal one, and I believe that we need to give them the ability to judge. It's not. It's terrible to think that Prime Minister Netanyahu, under war, under these things that happen in Israel, is on trial. Uh,
Mhm.
but I think I think each and every one of us have big problems. Let's focus on our problems and our challenges, and not interfere other things. But this is just my opinion, and I hope that this issue will finish also soon, because, with all the, Benjamin Netanyahu is a very strong man, and to run a trial and run Israel, it's not Luxembourg here. It's a little bit more challenging. I hope that this thing will finish soon also, and it's going to be find a way that every one of us is going to be focused in what is good and not with noises around us. But this is just my opinion, and it's not doing good. If this is the question. Um, a day after the ceasefire started with Iran, we opened the National Leadership Center. And, this is walking by faith, like nobody knew what is going to be happen. Nobody knew if they are going to respect that. As you all know, there was 52 airplanes on the way to Tehran to continue to bomb, and President Trump asked Prime Minister Netanyahu to turn them back, and they turned back. So it was very fragile, but we opened the National Leadership Center. And for me, it was such a bless to see children that are coming, soldiers that are coming to the National Leadership Center. And today is Monday, right? I lost counting the day. But
Yes.
yesterday, yesterday it was yesterday. Yesterday it seems like forever. But yesterday we have a group of young girls, 12 years old girls from the south that was under attack on the 7th of October. And they did the activities, of course, and it was cute and lovely. And I was sitting there in the debrief, and we spoke with them about the journey of Abram, about the Lech Lecha, go you, about the promised land. In Hebrew, we call that in the last portion, Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, honey and milk, as you all know. And I was listening to them, and when we are doing that, we are speaking with the young people about leadership, but more than that, we are focusing in the act of leadership. What is the meaning of doing something for others, for yourself, for your family, for your community? And these amazing young girls, with all the pure that young people are bringing with them, in the debrief, we asked them about what they are feeling about the future, what's their thoughts, what they're thinking about the future. And they said, I'm quoting in a way, we as a nation go from a bad situation and we won. They said, we are going to be strong, and we are going to be out of that. And the last one said, we are going to win. I feeling and I know that we are going to win at 12 years old. And keep the thought for the end of my thought. I will connect the dots. Um, but the thing that every time that we are speaking about is the portion that we read in Shabbat, and this Shabbat it's amazing portion about Korach, and we are thinking when we are reading that, and this is the beautiful thing that generations after generation we are reading the portion of Shabbat every Shabbat and every Shabbat, and every time you are finding something new that connected, that to see that how history is predicting and how history is giving guidance to all of us, and how it's containing to the day by day. And what I saw in Shabbat is the word you should be holy versus all congregation is holy. What is the difference between them? And in this portion, Korach say to Moses and Aaron, for all congregation are holy. At the first glance, it seems like something that's familiar to us, because Moses said in Leviticus 19:2, he said, you should be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy. But what is the difference between you should be holy? You should be holy is a command, is a commandment, an inspiration, a continuous process. In contrast, Korah said, all are holy. It's a declaration. It's something that we are holy, and Korah is deleting or denies the need for leadership, for mission, for serving to rise. in our days, to think about that, we have to be all the time better and better and better. And I think that this is something that it's really important, that coming in this mission, yes, we are valuable, but that doesn't mean that the guidance, leadership, and spiritual levels to inspire are irrelevant. And this is something one thing that I'm taking for the portion. And Korach and his people, they didn't look for purpose. They look for power. And this is something that is really important, I think, these days. In the portion, it's very thing about, we saw the Aaron stick was blossom, not because it was better, because it chose to serve the people. And I think that this is very important. Every one of us has a role in the system. Not everybody's contribute the same, or they think that they're contribute the same, but everyone is critical. You cannot have a country without prime minister, but you cannot build a country without the soldiers, without the teachers, without the educators, without people that driving buses, without agriculture. You cannot build that, because everyone is part of something something big. Something more that is very present in this portion is the fact that Korach was not alone. He was not alone. There was 250 people around him. That was his reference group, and this is the people that was following him in his bad leadership. And this is something for today. I think it's more important than ever, because if we only listen to networks that we are connected, hate, or voices that claim that everybody is corrupted, well, lost hope. But if choose to be noticed to the people through kindness and vision, we all find the strength to rebuild. And I think that this is the thing that is very important this day. And I think when we are bringing people to the National Leadership Center, we are bringing to a different environment. We are bringing them for an environment of shalom, peace. We are bringing them something that connected. They love the Bible and find the future in the Bible. And I cannot hold myself to tell you, I'm sure that you remember that, but when President John Kennedy was visiting in the NASA headquarters before the mission to send people to the moon, he was speaking with the managers about the vision, about sending people to the moon. He's speaking with people, and then he was going to the bathroom, and to the restroom. Sorry. And then when he was then, he met the janitor, and he asked him, "What you are doing here?" And the janitor said to him, "I'm helping to put a man to the moon." And this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful answer that the person that is very small part, in a way, just a janitor understood the greater mission in his life. And this is, I think, something that I'm taking with me every day when I'm coming to the National Leadership Center. And not everyone does the same thing, but everyone is matter. And I think that if you're taking that to the beginning of the conversation, and I was remember President Kennedy speaking about that in NASA, when I heard these young girls, 12 years old, after the activity in the National Leadership Center, was speaking in so much trust, and it's in so much faith about the future, and about the resilience of the people in Israel through these hard times. But when I heard this young girl said, "We are going to win. We are part of something big. We are a chain of history." This was connected to me to the story of the janitor, this man that was in charge of cleaning, and he said that he's sending people to the moon. And this young girl knows that we are going to win, and they're going to know that we are going to take out of that. And I think that when we are bringing people to environment that connected to mutual responsibility, that connect them to the roots, that can give them quiet from all the noises around it, that disconnect them for the screen. When we are bringing young people to the National Leadership Center, we are taking them the cell phones in the mornings and give them in the afternoon back. So we're creating an environment. They don't listen to the TikTok, they don't see the Instagram, they don't know anything that happened. They're just focusing in their purpose in life, in the mission that they're connected. And I can tell you for sure, if at 12 years old, 20 of them that was see what's happening the 7th of October in the South, was there and then evacuate for the houses, and they came to the national leaderships in the hill of the Ephraim as part of the healing, I can tell you for sure that we are going to win. I can tell you for sure that these generations of lions are going to continue to grow and protect Israel, because this is the DNA of the Jewish people. We understand that we are suffering, but we are raising, we are growing, and this is something that you see in 12 years old. This is the DNA. It's not the old people that say, okay, we are going to be strong. Okay, we have the IDF. Okay, we have F-35 or whatever. No, we have faith. We know what we are here, and this is what we are training our children. Every Shabbat dinner, when we are reading the blessing of Shabbat, we are speaking about going out of Egypt by a miracle. This is our education system that is bringing the word, bringing the history alive, and say to you, don't be like Korach.
Mm.
Seek for spiritual guidance. Look what you can do more. Don't doubt. Look for the good environment. And I think our blessing as the National Leadership Center is to be humble, because we can sometimes take a lot of faith and a lot of courage from young people that see the world in a different glasses that we are see that. And this is our mission, Patricia. I think that what we are going to continue to do is to give the ability to these young people to speak, to heal, but encourage us, the old people, to do it. And I can tell you that the National Leadership Center is growing, and we are continuing to do good things, and we are going spreading our word to thousands and thousands of people around Israel. And I'm waking up every morning with a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, but with a lot of hope, because
Yeah.
when you're coming envy, and when you are coming modest, and when you are
Mm.
humbling, and when you praise the Lord, and when you come with the joy in your heart and bringing to others, the 12 years old that came for a day in the National Leadership Center, Eran Glazer, the executive director, and Prime Minister Netanyahu can be in an atmosphere that this is the right war. We are protecting our future. We are protecting the world, and we are going to be strong in safety because of these 12 years old people, young people that know that this is our right. This is our
Mm.
obligation to the next generation, to be strong like them, to bring God and to bring the Bible alive, because everything is written there and all the promises are there. And their promises are every day we see them that live, and we see miracles with the sorrow, with the grief, with the 50 hostages that are still in Gaza, and we are praying for their coming back to
Mm.
their families, to the soldiers that are there, for all the widows and the orphans. And it's a bad war for any aspect that you can imagine.
Mm.
In the economic situation is not good in Israel. But guess what? There is another startups that's going to be on the way. In a year, 2 years, 3 years, we are going to grow again, and everything is going to be strong and safety. Why? Because these 12 years old children that know for sure that they are not going to live in other places, because they have
Mm.
responsibility for the next generations and generation. And this is the blessing. Another word, if I can say, Patricia, I think that sometimes we are coming in the morning and praying for something, and I think that as the story that I mentioned to you here from NASA and from the National Leadership Center, I would like to say to you today, thank you very much. I think
Mm.
the victory is because the IDF, is because the
Mm.
protection of God, but more than that is because all of you, because I think every one of us is doing a small part. But when the good are joining hands together, when the good is joining hand together, nobody can defeat the vision and the Jewish people. So thank you very much for a daily prayers, a daily
Yeah.
meetings. This is a bless for Israel. This is a bless for Israel. Be proud of yourself with all the time that you are investing in prayer, because this is the only thing that is going to make us strong, and we are going to do it. And as I'm finishing every conversation and meeting here, I saying my prayer is that all of us are going to meet in Jerusalem, in the city of David, and we are going to join hands, stand in circle, look in the sky, and say, God is good all the time. Thank you very much.
So good. Thank you so much, Eran. I can't help but just a brief part of a quote of a guy from France. It will come out in the call to prayer that you'll get an email about this for everyone. But just think about this people that the people whom the pharaohs tried to erase 3,000 years ago and failed, the people whom the Babylonians tried to destroy 2,500 years ago and failed, the people whom the Romans wanted to annihilate 2,000 years ago and failed, the people who the Nazis tried to exterminate 80 years ago and could not wipe out, and people whom the Arabs fought in 5 wars to erase from the map and failed. And we could go on and on. Come on, the people of Israel live because God is really fighting for them. So I want to thank everybody for praying, and I'm going to just stop